Hello everyone, my name is Eric Mullins, and today we're going to be checking out Kotobukiya's Rage of the Bahamut Dark Dragoon Forte. She's a 1/8 scaled figure, but for 1/8, she's massive. This is a big figure, comparable to a lot of my 1/7s. You might have already noticed that she's standing on some tiny little base elevation. This is because when they made this figure, the original sculptor, I guess, thought it would be cool to make her white spear go lower than her actual base. This is a hindrance for people that live their lives and have figures. This is so annoying, but we'll get into this later. But aside from that, there's a lot of amazing positives to this figure. So let's get into it. Her base is rather thick. This is a very tall base. I don't really know why, but you know what? I'm not going to complain. It's super solid. When you get the figure, she's actually glued to all of this. It's just one giant chunk. The box is rather large, so, you know, shipping. Wah wah. They seem to have speckled all this little dandruff down at the bottom. Jokes aside, it's, I guess, a solar system, stars and stuff like that that's going on out there, the galaxy, the universe. I don't know. I don't play this game and I know nothing about it. I just really like this figure and think she looks gorgeous, along with her counterpart of Dark Angel Olivia over here, but the bases don't even have the same kind of stars or design to them. So like, what the heck, Kotobukiya? Like, get your stuff together. This figure is an older figure, so I mean, is that forgivable? I don't know. She has these beautiful little red pieces that are coming out of the front of her base. They're glued in there, and they look very similar to her scarf. I don't know if it's connected to her scarf or if it's a part of it because I don't know anything about the game. But they do look cool, and they help hide one of the pieces that are actually in there to support her left leg, which is moving up a little bit, so it's right under the foot. It's in black, and I like this. It's better than a transparent one because all the black on black really helps. Her boots have this old gold kind of look to it, so it's not really super shiny. It's really beautiful. It has a gorgeous little decoupage all around it, and it looks like such nice armored plating that's so regal. The boots themselves are a pearlized black, and that's great. It really looks nice, and it separates it from the actual stockings she's wearing afterwards. Her stockings are beautiful, very well done. They accentuate her legs nicely, and they have a couple of stretches of the fabric here and there, which is very appreciated. We then get into her thigh clip pieces, and these are just beautiful. There's some sort of armored crest on the front of them, where we have all of this beautiful decoupage leading to the back, with these tiny things that almost look like buttons, where you can just push them in and remove the whole piece. This is awesome. I don't know if the actual character has this in their initial video game design, but very cool that they would put this on here. They're also done with the same pearlized black as we get on her shoes, and you kind of see this throughout the rest of her armoring. It's just really cool. I'm a huge fan of sectioning off different plastics to textures. It's just perfect for the eye. Then we have her thighs, which actually go into the boots, and very well. They look like they go in there pretty deep. It's not shallow where it clips in, and they're nice, elegant, slender, and they go up into her waist. She does have kind of like, I guess it looks like a bathing suit on underneath. It's like a cold, purplish, dark blue, pearlized as well. It really looks like it has a bathing suit style texture to it based off of the sculpt. Her dress flows out into this gorgeous pleated skirt that is expertly sculpted. I love the motion, all of this just blowing in the wind with stretches and fabric twists and turns here and there. It's so nice. It's a matte black and it really looks good. It stands out very well in contrast to a lot of her shinier parts. Where we then have her belt. The belt is actually sculpted into the dress. It's painted over it. If you look at it with a magnifying glass, maybe you'll get a bit of paint overflow, but it's really not that noticeable. The belt has a bunch of highlights and shading as well, with a cute little lilac clip, and she has these cute little pouches all around her, and the pouches are very well done. I freaking love them. Makes me think of like 90s superheroes, how they always had tons of pouches. I think it's cool when you have a place where you can put your keys to her dragon, I guess, that she rides on. Or is she the dragon? The belt pouches are all expertly done, and they're sculpted to be quite three-dimensional. Everything popping out with beautiful outlines of a darker gray, highlights all over this thing. It's just wild how much work they put into this figure. The beautiful clip that she has on her belt is gorgeous. This I would have preferred to see maybe a bit more shading on, but you know, it's okay. It looks shinier and a little more gold than the rest of the old gold that we have on her. It almost looks like it was a melted gold that kind of created this sort of effect. Then we'll get up into her breastplate, which is gorgeous. I love this chest armor. All these motifs, my goodness, for real. It's so beautiful. She then has this lovely little regal neck piece, which is just so cute. And they put a gloss on it. This is really nice because this thing sticks out quite a bit in contrast to the pearlization and the matte of the rest of her suit. She's just a 3D chess style character for thinking about how to put those paint applications. The shoulder pads are absolutely incredible with those beautiful regal designs and cuts and everything. It's got such Celtic connotations mixed up with demon overlord, mixed up with beautiful princess. It's awesome. I don't know if this character is a villain or not, but she doesn't strike me as one just looking at this. You'd think so, but I feel like she's kind of maybe the ends justify the means kind of character, where she's evil at the beginning, but at the end you find out she's had a heart of gold all along. Maybe like somebody else who shares a similar name to her. I find it interesting that around her neck she actually has this little collar, and it's a similar color to her pendant, but like, why? You don't really see this anywhere else on her. So I think maybe that should have been the same kind of color that we got on her bathing suit area down near her underpants, or maybe it could have been reflective of the pearlized ones that she has in other parts of her. Regardless, it does separate it as a different texture because it's a different type of clothing. So I can't say it's a bad thing, it's just kind of odd. Though it does really help accentuate her head and her face. The shoulder pads are sporting this epic X-Men logo, so I mean, we can only imagine she's one of the children of the Atom. Or are those crosses? I don't know, she doesn't strike me as the religious type. But maybe she is. Who am I to judge? Around her neck and going down her back is an epic scarf. I don't really know how it attaches exactly, maybe on like this cool little back piece. Oh wait, it goes under her shoulder armor. This is epic. It looks so good. The tattered flayed look is beautiful. It looks singed too all around. It's got a lot of personality and it's waving out there. It's cool how her left one comes down to touch the base. It's actually locked into that, and then we get all these ripped up pieces of material that look like they're coming through the base. You could almost think it's the same sort of material. I'm not really sure because I don't know the character and I don't know any of her lore or her abilities, but it's very awesome. Going down into her arms, they're actually bare where the armpit is, and this is really cool. I like this. It looks like it's very free and easy for her to swing around her massive weapons. Clicking into these clicky connection bands? I don't know what to call these, but they do look cool. I wouldn't say that they're part of her overall glove. They just look like they hang on top of it. Maybe they keep everything together, but they look awesome. Very dragon wings design to go with the whole dragon theme that's coming out from this girl. Where then we have the actual glove that goes all the way down into her hands. Her wrists, however, have more armor to them, which are really cool. And we have that lilac color again, which we actually see at the top part of the gloves. They're pearlized as well. It's very nice, and none of the colors are too extravagant that they become a major focal point. So it's a beautiful touch. Her hands look really nice, and her fingers are well done. Everything seems so elegant, though she's not holding on to these weapons as hard and as strong as I kind of would like her to be. Everything about this pose says, I'm holding this, I'm super solid, but her hands are elegantly holding on to these, so it seems like she could just flip them and spin them around if she needed to at a notice, but I would have liked it more solid, like really strong grip on them. Despite this, they are very well done. Her face is kind of creepy. It's round, it's cute, it's very doll-like, and the eyes don't have a lot of white on them where the red takes up so much and the iris is so small and not black. It's just a dark red, and this is really fantastic. It makes her so creepy. Does she have a soul? Maybe that of a dragon. Maybe multiple souls of her enemies, that is. I have no idea. I know nothing of her lore. The hair is expertly well done, where all the parts that we see glued in here and there holding everything together actually coincides with a lot of cuts and molds that they chose to do. So, you know, this is Kotobukiya being awesome with their hair. You can see it's not perfect or as successful as some of their newer statues, but it is still very well done here. We don't get particularly a lot of shading with little highlights that you would see from a lot of anime figures, but this one does have minor highlights here and there, and as we see it flow down to the bottom of the hair, we slowly get this gradient that's kind of a gray. It's creepy. The hair is so nice and flowy and all over the place. It's really giving me Lovecraftian vibes. Then she has these cute little horns that are just adorable and very well painted. I think I would have liked maybe a bit more texture on that, but look at me being all baggy and choosy. Hello, weapons of mass destruction. She has 2 spears. Javelins? Lances? I'm pretty sure they're javelins. She looks like a dragon rider, but she's the dragon and she's her own rider. We've got the yin and the yang, and they look so cool. Let's start with the white one. It's so regal and posh and expensive looking. There's little sharp pieces here and there all over the place. The handle looks super great. It goes through the back of her hair, which is fantastic. It has this lovely little spike at the end with old gold coloration kind of cutting through the whole thing in an artistic motif. As we get to the section closer to where she's holding on to, it makes me think kind of like Evangelion with the way its decoupages and its weird shapings. And then it kind of slowly opens up and cuts into the rest of this actual spear. So the white is a beautiful pearlized gloss, and then we have this old gold on top that isn't as glossy. We get this epic texture separation that I love it so much. The tips of these things are incredibly sharp, so you gotta be careful because you could probably hit blood if you cut yourself on this thing. The white one is going down, and it's going down, 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 down. Far too down, far too low. I think the concept is cool. I believe that in a perfect world where everyone has all the place in the universe to be able to put everything, having something that goes lower than the base is fun. I almost would have made it go even lower to make it truly obvious. But it's so minute, and the fact of the matter is, it just bugs me. So here she is. If I just pick her up and I put her straight on the ground, right off the bat, you can see this. Look at that. Like, I gotta be careful because if I move it too much, it might catch and then snap off. I just finished telling you about how sharp this thing is. But having it go down low is nice. I do think it looks expertly done, and it's so gorgeous. This whole figure is gorgeous. She's just so incredibly demanding. Look at all the space that she wants. Look at how much lower this thing has to go. You need to really take care of her because she attracts dust like there's no tomorrow with all the mat everywhere. And look at that face. That's such a posh, demanding princess face if I've ever seen one. Now we get into the black javelin, where at the end of the handle we get this beautiful little heart. My goodness, this almost feels succubusy. What are you? What kind of dragon are you? Where did you get this javelin, Miss Dragoon Forte? The motifs are really nice. They feel more regal than the white one, and I'd say it feels a little more gothic and less artistic expression because it's asymmetrical in its overall design and decoupage. As we come down to her hand, it gets dangerously close to touching a bunch of these pieces that are coming out, but it doesn't. It's amazing, and it looks so cool with a bunch of scaled placements that have that dragony, demonic feel to it, and I love these little clock hand pieces at the bottom. I don't know if that's what it is. It just feels like maybe this one stops time and the other one stops space. So maybe we should just name them Palkia and Dialga? The one video I'm not wearing my Team Rocket hat. As we get down to the actual meat and bones of this wheat javelin, the underbelly looks so awesome. It feels like it could be the head of a dragon or armor that would be on that dragon's head. And it's incredibly sharp at the bottom as well, so be careful handling her. You don't want to accidentally spike or scratch another figure, or even chip the end, because I feel like that would be easily done. On her initial release date of 2016, she was 13,800 yen. This is way too cheap for this figure. She's incredible, and she's worth every single penny of that in today's market. However, due to inflation, I could imagine her being closer to the 18,000 yen price point, give or take. She's massive for what you're getting. This is a huge figure. I know it says 1/8, it's just, this is a 1/7 sizing. It's gorgeous. There's so much going on. There's just this thing right here that drives me nuts. But aside from that, I freaking love this figure. And this is nothing that you can't fix if you got a little bit of Lego at home. Just put a couple of bricks underneath this thing and she'll raise up just high enough so you have no problems. If you're going to place her inside a detolf, you can put her closer to the edge of it. So this thing would hang off over the edge where the glass plating ends. You can put her on top of your detolf too, or on a different type of shelving unit, but like I said, she attracts dust like crazy due to all the matte on her design, and it's black, so, you know, at your own peril. Since her release, they've actually come out with one re-release, which is less than her counterpart has received. Her counterpart's currently at 3. Dark Angel Olivia is gorgeous and massive. These two figures look very nice together, especially if you manage to raise her above a little bit. This is just so cool. I have a fun little tidbit about this character. Years ago, back in 2016, I was at an anime convention selling my comic book. I had somebody sitting at the table right beside me, and this guy shows up with a box of this figure, and he's like, look at what I got! And I just saw this and thought, that is so beautiful. But she's just so big, and before her, I'd never gotten a large anime figure before. I always kept things relatively small, kind of like this. I live in a tiny apartment. I don't have place for a lot of large figures. But that guy sitting next to me really convinced me that I should go out and get her right away. To the point where he actually dragged me to a store that had her at the convention, pointed at her, and was like, you need to get this right now. I wasn't gonna say no to that. This character is amazing. I got her for an incredibly good price at the time, and I couldn't be happier with her. Even after all these years, she totally holds up standing next to a bunch of my other figures. And I know nothing about the source material. So clearly my objective opinion is super biased. Because every time I look at this figure, I see this is where I really started collecting anime figures. For real. For really real. No longer would I be shackled by the size or the dimensions. I'm going all out. This is both a positive and a negative in my life, but we'll get into that in a future episode. For now, hopefully this review helped you choose which side on the fence you are on getting this figure. Is she worth it? Can she fit? Does any of this bother you, or are you totally sold on the fact that she's pretty unique and does all these cool things very well? If you like my video just a little bit, doesn't cost much to hit that like button, that subscribe, and start smacking that notification bell. This way you'll be notified of future episodes that I make. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Let's see. What the heck? Get out of my way. No. There we go. Okay. Nice and slow. It was my birthday the other day, and a close friend of mine got me this awesome Lazy Susan. I don't know why they're called that. I mean, she's clearly working super hard for me. This is super cool, though it's a little difficult to figure like this. Like, I'm trying to figure it out. She's just slicing me up on her pass-bys. Major little sister vibes with this character. Although she's a 1/8, and this is huge, so she's probably like an 8-foot little sister. But look at that face. She demands the attention, and she demands your affection, and you have to take care of her, and why not get 2 or 3 of the same figure? Because she demands it. I'm actually surprised that they never released, like, alternate colorations or different things like that for this figure.